believe social media carries a lot of value in marketing your short film or in any type of film marketing, whether it be a short film, feature film?
Yeah, nowadays it's the only valuable thing
Mm,
in reality now because almost everything is on social media because it doesn't matter what corner you are in the world, there's at least a social media platform designated to that country.
yeah.
And what think about it, what's the first where's the first thing you see a trailer to a film? It's not on TV, it's not on billboards
Instagram,
anymore. It's on
Instagram.
Instagram, it's on Twitter, or it's on Facey, it's on, TikTok. It's on social media. You see stuff on social media first before the traditional exhibiting platforms like on a big screen in your country, your town square, or your local TV, or a local like screen on public display, or on a billboard somewhere, or even through word of mouth from a family member or a friend or a colleague or whoever. So you see things on social media first, and the rest of the world is catching up to that, or has now fully integrated it with their advertising for anything and everything. And the only way to make any sort of noise is to be proficient at that with social media, both in terms of free and in terms of paid advertising. And one of the best ways nowadays is that, unfortunately, because we have this big pool of films and short films of content produced by many people around the world, everything just sort of gets lost if you do little to no marketing at all, or if you don't do any sort of paid advertising, you don't add that to your budget. So the best way to stick out is to unfortunately play that game, but you can play the game in any way that you can, at least that you can afford to, or you think you can do it. And you can be creative in how you do it. There's multiple ways to do it. And that's what the sort of thing I like a little bit about marketing and advertising, is that if done right, there's a flair of creativity that you can
Yeah.
do with that as well to help it stick out as well. So it's not just, insert X amount of money and then he'll show this amount of views on this amount of platform, yada, yada, yada. And so I realized that, throughout the production growing up, so I wanted to integrate it and maximize it as much as possible. And what I did was I did it in sort of three stages. One
Okay.
was through, I posted on my YOTKO post, like my own Insta page and my own TikTok page and my own Facebook page, that local screening was about to happen. I then further forwarded it by scanning and looking at other Perth film groups on Facebook and just sharing it into all of them to garner as many eyes as possible. I
Yeah.
then replicated that formula, at least on Facebook. I replicated that formula by when I did a second um, when I did a second campaign, so to speak, when the film was officially released on all these platforms, and you can buy a personal copy for $2, or you can watch for free with ads on these platforms here by having a link tree, copying and pasting the URLs, then copying and pasting that URL link tree URL into all the social media posts I put on there, so
Yeah.
that drive traffic for people to see it.
Yeah.
And then I created a Facebook ad and within 10 to 14 days, what I did was, just to play it safe, I put all the countries in the world that you can into all them. And I realized that the amount of numbers that was drawing from that Facebook ad, they're all being centered around a certain part of the world, which is India. That's where the majority of the views were from. But I wanted it to be as evenly dispersed out as
Yeah.
possible. So instead, I changed the amount of locations in that ad, and I limited it to the Western world, so like Australia, New Zealand,
Yeah.
US, Canada, the UK, South Africa, English speaking countries there. Then I created and I um, shaved off a couple of dollars a day on that Facebook ad, to like from $5 a day to like $2 or $3 a day. Then I created another ad where same sort of campaign ad, same Facebook ad, but instead I limited that one to all of Europe. Um,
Yeah. Right.
and then I'm going to repeat the same formula. So I had two simultaneous ads, and I found out that the reach was much more effective that way on Facebook doing that. And so I'm going to replicate the same sort of formula with other corners of the world with different Facebook ads,
Yeah.
existing at least 30 days apart from each other. So one up every 30 days, create a new campaign, da 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 da. scramble like that. Similar effect on Facebook and on TikTok. I also wrote a couple of blogs pertaining about how to self-distribute your short film to all these other channels beyond just YouTube, as well as giving a blog explanation to like the process of how I made Full Circle. I've added that to my link tree as a blog. I posted on multiple blog platforms from Medium to Tumblr, and I put all those links
Yeah, right.
on my link tree there. And then did like how I just did with my film thing, where I forwarded to all the other film groups. I forwarded to all the other short film groups, all the other indie film Facebook groups that exist on Facebook throughout the rest of the world, and I just pumped it as much as I can onto there. And then I'm also integrating the paid ad system with my budget from Facebook. And then once it's had that course, I'll do the same thing with Instagram with my trailer posts. Then when I'm done with Instagram, then I'll do the same thing with TikTok. Then once TikTok has run its course, I'll do the same thing with Twitter. Then with
Yeah,
Twitter,
yeah.
the last thing we'll do is LinkedIn. Those are the social medias where you can do paid posts, like to boost
Mm.
your posts. And there's also other platforms like Phoenix 360, Pinterest, display. And with display, you actually get paid for putting ads on there. So that's what intrigued me to give that a crack. And so, yeah, that's sort of my marketing strategy behind all of that, so to speak.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
mate. Yeah, that's great advice.